I'm Aaron Chalich.
And I'm Tony Seaman.
And you're watching another episode of KSAX TEG. This week, we'll be reviewing Medal of Honor from EA.
This is infiltration. The first boots on the ground. The unknown elite. Hunting in silence. Until it's time to go loud. This is escalation. Flipping the switch. Taking the fight to the enemy. This is the Wolf Pack. Force multiplied. Relentless. Exacting. Precise. These are the most elite operators in the world. A new breed of warrior for a new breed of warfare. This is Tier 1. Medal of Honor. Developed in collaboration with U.S. Special Operations soldiers.
Well, I've been playing this game for a few days now, and I really like it. I haven't really played too many games like this. I really didn't know what to expect when I popped it in, and yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. What did you think of it?
Well, I think the big thing with Medal of Honor is, of course, for the first time, they're going to the modern combat. They're usually sticking to World War II in the past, and the first time they jump into it, you're automatically going to compare it to other games, like Call of Duty, which is the one that's kind of reigning supreme right now in that genre. And we'll get into those comparisons a little bit. But no, overall, I thought it was a good game. It has its flaws, but yeah, I had fun with it.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of the story?
Well, story-wise, it's pretty much, I don't know, you can tell me what you think too, but it's your standard war story. I mean, you're part of a group of elite operatives sent, behind enemy lines to do things that no one else can do. And of course, it's a suicide mission, and the what have yous and the twists and things like that. But I felt it was pretty much your standard war shooter. It was enough to get you from A to B, but nothing to really write home about.
Yeah, and another thing that happens in the game too with the story is you play different characters. You're not the same character throughout the whole story. Throughout the whole game, it's one level you're one character, the next level you're a different character, and kind of switches it up. That's what I kind of liked about the story in it.
Alrighty, well, I guess on the other side, with me, it's like, with these games, I suppose, I do see where you're coming from, but when you jump from character to character, you're a U.S. Ranger, you're, what have you, different nationalities and whatnot, it kind of lose that connection maybe, and then it's even more confusing to the story to me when it's like, hey, I'm here in this country doing this, and all of a sudden I'm a U.S. Ranger in a completely different part, and I think it does get a little muddled in that respect, but it does obviously make things a lot more varied.
One thing I like, I don't know, for me, the controls are easy. I've never really played many first-person shooter war games, and I thought it was pretty easy just to pick up, and the tutorials were kind of, made it simpler to use, and I kind of picked it up, after a few minutes of play. And
yeah, it's definitely, I think at this point, any first-person shooter on a console is gone pretty much generally the same direction. You got your left trigger to aim, right trigger to shoot. Your grenades are going to be on one of your shoulder buttons, and away you go with the sprint key on your clicking the L3 stick. And it's very easy to pick up and play. Anyone who's played a first-person shooter will be right at home with this one.
Yeah. Another thing I really liked about the game was the vehicles. Throughout the game, you drive different vehicles. Like one of the things that I just got done doing in the game was driving an ATV through the desert. And that was pretty neat, and you can drive around on it and shoot, while you're riding it. And you have night vision goggles, so you can shut off the headlights of the four-wheeler and turn your night vision goggles on, so the other people can't see you. And
yeah, that was I know that was one of the second or third level was one of the early ones, and that really, I noticed that was when the graphics I felt really shined as well, because especially in the night levels in the game, the graphics really look sharp. And I like them then, especially with the lighting effects with the like you said, the ATV, when you can flip the lights on and go night vision and what have you. And so I think graphically that was really good in the night scenes. But I don't know, what did you think graphics-wise, just in general?
I thought they were good, but there were some spots where it could have been a little bit better. But otherwise, I was pretty happy with it. I didn't hate it.
Right. That's what again, the night scenes I feel were really well done, but then the day scenes, that's where you can start to notice some of the flaws. Because, there was one, it was level 4 or 5, the first time you're playing as the Rangers, and it's a cutscene, and it's just fantastic.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. You start in a plane, you land, you get, or a helicopter, excuse me, you get dropped off, and then you're in the midst of about 40 different U.S. Rangers, and all of a sudden, all heck breaks loose, and it goes from the cutscene into gameplay, and it's such a jarring transition, and then the explosions just look terrible once you start playing again. And so I think it's kind of hit and miss with graphics for me, because sometimes like a night mission, it looks fantastic, but then in the day, in the open, you can just kind of tell it's just chugging a little bit. But
did you get a chance to play any of the online?
I did not. I am not. My apartment is not blessed with a steady online connection. But from what I know, or I guess or just heard about it, it's a pretty standard. You know, you get in, you get to level up your weapons, customize, and things of that. It's a very standard, or I guess. And multiplayer experience.
Pretty much,
because I know that you did get a chance to kind of dabble, so I mean, you'd be far better to talk about that part of it.
Like you said, it's just your typical online, shooter. It's the only thing, for me, it was a little confusing. Like, they didn't really tell you, or I didn't, maybe I missed something, but it didn't tell you, like, what team you were on. They just kind of threw you in it, and I was shooting my own teammates, because I didn't know who I was supposed to shoot.
You're a noob, you can say that.
Yeah, I'm a noob on the first-person shooters. But after, maybe 5 minutes, and I kind of figured it out and got the hang of it. But online was pretty good. I didn't have any, lost connections or any lags, so it was pretty decent. And then one cool thing, too, with the online is you can get different medals. And for doing certain achievements in the game, for shooting your gun 1,000 times, you get some kind of medal, and it's just all kinds of different things, so it'll make it a lot of fun playing it online. I can see playing it online often. So.
Right, and that's the sort of thing where it keeps people, coming back. Yeah. You want to get that next medal, to get that next perk, the next the new ability, the better gun, the new sight for the AK or what have you. So.
Yep. Some of the things that from playing it that I didn't like was there's some scenes like you'd mentioned before with the graphics, but other than that, I guess I really didn't find anything I didn't like about it.
Alrighty. So. Well, I liked, the controls were good, I felt they sufficed, and so I thought that was good. Bad, I would definitely say the graphics, and again, they tried to have the, oh wow moments, but none of them really kind of hit as compared to, I'm going to go back to it again, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. It's like you can tell they're trying to keep up with that game, and they just can't quite get to what that level that we had, a year ago when that game came out. So there wasn't really those epic moments, I suppose you could call them. And I know another thing we touched on, I won't even say if I like it or dislike it, but I think this is one of the first games where you're in Afghanistan and you're actually killing Al-Qaeda, which I know was a big hot button issue for a lot of people, but to me, it wasn't like I was realizing I was shooting Al-Qaeda. I was just, to me, it was like generic terrorist number 2, so.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, but I know that would ruffle a lot of feathers, and I know people are going to be mad about that out there, but I guess I didn't like that about it, and I guess I didn't dislike it, so that was just sort of I know that an option that was there that people did notice about the game.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't even think of it as Al-Qaeda. I just thought it was just regular terrorists.
Right.
Just shooting them. And
exactly.
So, overall, I think I would give this game probably a 4 out of 5. I had a lot of fun with it, and the controls were easy, and there were some graphic issues, but I can see going back and playing had a really good replay value, I thought. What did you think?
I'm going to give it a 3 just because, I enjoyed myself as well, but again, even when I played it, I hadn't played the other, the Modern Warfare 2, the Call of Duties, which is pretty much, it's going to get compared to it instantly, and any day of the week I'm going to choose Call of Duty over this game. I did enjoy it, but there's just with the graphics and just the campaign wasn't quite as epic or awe-inspiring as its counterpart there, so I'm going to have to give it a 3.
Thanks for watching another episode of KSAX TEG. Make sure you come back often.
Rate,
comment,
and subscribe.
The views of this video are not necessarily the views of Hubbard Broadcasting or its affiliate stations.
Okay.
Rate, comment, subscribe.